The graves of AFI's 20 greatest screen legends. What secrets lie beneath the soil of Hollywood's greatest resting places? From tragic car crashes and fiery romances to groundbreaking performances that changed cinema forever. These are the final chapters of AFI's 20 greatest screen legends. Who rests in serene memorials and who left no grave behind? Today we uncover the lives, legacies, and lasting mysteries of the icons who shaped the golden age of film. So, what does it take to become a legend, and what happens when the spotlight fades? Let's dive in and explore the extraordinary endings of Hollywood's brightest stars. Ava Gardner and William Holden. Today's countdown begins at Sunset Memorial Park in North Carolina, where Ava Gardner is laid to rest. Her acting career began in the early 1940s, but she rose to prominence in 1946 as the femme fatale Kitty Collins in The Killers. In the 1950s and 1960s, she became a prominent leading actress in films such as The Barefoot Contessa, The Night of the Iguana, and Mogambo. Her role in Mogambo earned her an Academy Award nomination in 1954. Ava Gardner was famously described as more beautiful and more exciting than you've ever seen her. In her later years, she appeared in Earthquake and took on a recurring role as Ruth Galveston in the TV soap opera Knots Landing. Ava spent her final years living quietly in London, passing away from pneumonia in 1990 at the age of 67. Some celebrities on today's list lack physical graves because they were cremated, with their ashes either privately kept or scattered. This was true for actor William Holden, whose ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. By the 1950s, Holden had established himself as a major box office star. He won the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Stalag 17 in 1953. He also earned an Emmy for his lead role in the miniseries The Blue Knight. Film enthusiasts celebrate his work in critically acclaimed classics, such as The Bridge on the River Kwai, Network, Sabrina, and one of the all-time greats, Sunset Boulevard, which garnered him his first Oscar nomination. William Holden was a frequent collaborator with director Billy Wilder, who regarded him as a true star. Tragically, in November 1981, after not being seen for days, his apartment manager entered and discovered Holden's lifeless body on the floor. The Los Angeles coroner determined that Holden, while intoxicated, had fallen and struck his head on a bedside table, resulting in a fatal laceration. He had been deceased for several days. William Holden was 63 years old. In accordance with his wishes, no funeral was held, and his remains were cremated, with his ashes scattered into the Pacific Ocean. Mary Pickford and Edward G. Robinson. Here lies the magnificent tomb of Mary Pickford, often hailed as America's sweetheart, though she was in fact Canadian. Despite her petite size and seemingly gentle demeanor, Mary was a trailblazer in early Hollywood, playing a crucial role in shaping the film industry and the art of cinema as we know it today. She began her career as a child actor on stage before transitioning to the emerging medium of film. Initially hesitant, Mary quickly found her footing and didn't just adapt to the medium. She helped revolutionize it. She recognized that screen acting required a more subtle and sophisticated technique than stage acting and was instrumental in defining this new approach. Her breakout role came in 1914 with Tess of the Storm Country, propelling her to international fame. In the following years, Mary became the most famous woman on the planet. A shrewd businesswoman, she leveraged her popularity to secure an unprecedented salary of $10,000 a week by 1916. A staggering sum for any actor of that era, regardless of gender. Mary transitioned seamlessly into the era of sound films, earning an Academy Award in 1930 for her performance in Coquette. In 1920, she married Douglas Fairbanks, who was then considered Hollywood royalty. Together, they became the industry's first celebrity power couple, known as Pickfair, a name that also referred to their legendary Beverly Hills estate, which became the epicenter of Hollywood's social scene during the 1920s. In 1919, Mary joined forces with Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith to create United Artists, giving them independence from the studio system and full control over their films. In response, a studio executive famously quipped, "The inmates are taking over the asylum." Additionally, Mary was among the founding members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. She passed away at the age of 87 in 1979, succumbing to a cerebral hemorrhage. Biographer Eileen Whitfield aptly named her book The Woman Who Made Hollywood, a fitting tribute to Pickford's monumental contributions to the industry. Our next star, ranked number 24, is one we recently visited during a trip to New York. If you caught that video, you'll recognize this mausoleum at Bethel Cemetery in Queens. It houses the remains of Edward G. Robinson, an actor who embodied the quintessential tough guy gangster during Hollywood's golden age. Robinson rose to fame with his electrifying portrayal of the unhinged Rico Bandello in the 1931 film Little Caesar, a performance that set the standard for on-screen gangsters. Other iconic roles include Barton Keyes in Double Indemnity, Dathan in The Ten Commandments, and Johnny Rocco in Key Largo. Beyond his work in film, Robinson also graced the Broadway stage in numerous productions. He passed away from cancer in 1973, just weeks after completing his role in Soylent Green, and mere months before receiving an honorary Academy Award. He was recognized for achieving greatness as a player, a patron of the arts, and a dedicated citizen. Carole Lombard and Robert Mitchum. We now step into the sanctuary of trust where Carole Lombard, the queen of screwball comedy, rests. By the late 1930s, Carole was Hollywood's highest paid and arguably most beloved actress. With her blonde hair, blue eyes, and a sharp wit that was often spiced with colorful language, she captivated audiences through her quirky performances in screwball comedies like 20th Century and My Man Godfrey. The latter earned her a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress. In 1932, Carole starred alongside Clark Gable in No Man of Her Own, a partnership that eventually led to their marriage. Carole and Clark are entombed here together. Her last film, To Be or Not to Be, 1942, was one she would not live to see completed. After the United States entered World War II, Carole devoted herself to war bond drives, helping to raise over $2 million at an event in her home state of Indiana. Initially, she planned to return to Los Angeles by train, but she opted to fly instead for a quicker trip home. Her mother, who had a fear of flying, preferred the train, so they flipped a coin to decide. Carole won the toss, sealing their fateful choice to fly. After refueling in Las Vegas, their plane crashed into the mountains outside the city, killing everyone on board. Carole was just 33 years old. Clark Gable, who had been waiting for her at Burbank Airport, immediately chartered a plane and rushed to the crash site to bring Carole and her mother home. She was recognized as the first woman to lose her life in service to her country during the war, and the Liberty ship SS Carole Lombard was named in her honor. Now we move to the Oddfellows Cemetery in Delaware, where we find a monument to the actor Robert Mitchum, one of Hollywood's most rugged leading men. Renowned for his ability to be both charismatic and intimidating, Mitchum excelled in genres ranging from noir to westerns. He achieved fame with his Oscar-nominated role in 1945's The Story of G.I. Joe. Mitchum continued his rise with standout performances in films like Out of the Past and Cape Fear. On the small screen, he portrayed Captain Pug Henry in the acclaimed miniseries The Winds of War and its sequel, War and Remembrance. Robert Mitchum passed away at the age of 79 from lung cancer. He was cremated and his ashes were scattered at sea. This memorial marker was later erected here in his honor. Join me on this journey and let's explore together. Comment number 1 to let me know you'll be watching till the end. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up in this video. Jean Harlow and Sidney Poitier. We return to the Great Mausoleum in Glendale, a slice of European charm nestled in the heart of Los Angeles. This tranquil and opulent haven offers a stark contrast to the frenetic pace of Hollywood. Within the Sanctuary of Benediction, a luxurious afterlife neighborhood, you'll find a who's who of classic Hollywood stars, including Sid Grauman, Red Skelton, Norma Shearer, and Irving Thalberg. Near the end of the hall on the left rests Hollywood's original blonde bombshell, Jean Harlow. In an era dominated by brunettes, Jean stood out with her luminous platinum hair, a signature look that influenced later icons like Marilyn Monroe. Renowned for her roles as a seductive bad girl, she became the quintessential sex symbol of her time. Her breakthrough came in Howard Hughes's 1930 film Hell's Angels. She later starred in hits like The Public Enemy and Platinum Blonde, a film originally titled Gallagher, but renamed to spotlight Harlow. Tragically, while filming Saratoga in 1937, Jean fell ill. Initially misdiagnosed with influenza, she eventually slipped into a coma and passed away on June 7th from kidney disease at just 26. Her remaining scenes in Saratoga were completed using body doubles. Jean was buried in a pink gown she had worn on screen, with a note from her lover William Powell placed in her hands reading, "Good night, my dearest darling." Her crypt is inscribed with the words, "Our baby." Beneath her rests her mother, while a third crypt in the room was rumored to have been reserved for Powell. However, Powell is interred in Cathedral City, leaving that crypt potentially forever unoccupied. Despite a career spanning only 9 years, Jean Harlow's impact on cinema endures nearly a century later. Next, we turn to Westwood Village Memorial Park, where our featured star doesn't have a grave, but was reportedly cremated. This male icon is the trailblazing Sidney Poitier, a Bahamian-born actor and the first black performer to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. As a teenager in New York, Sidney joined the American Negro Theater, which set the stage for his breakout role in 1955's Blackboard Jungle. In 1958, he starred in The Defiant Ones, earning his first Best Actor Oscar nomination, the first for any black actor in a leading role. A few years later, he made history by winning the Oscar for his performance in Lilies of the Field, 1963. You hold on 1 minute, you just hold on 1 minute. I mean, I ain't no nun, I'm nobody you can boss around, see? Sidney balanced his film work with stage performances, including originating the role of Walter Lee Younger in the Broadway production of A Raisin in the Sun, which he reprised for the film adaptation. His other acclaimed films include Porgy and Bess in the Heat of the Night and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, one of the first major studio films to portray an interracial marriage positively. At the time of its production, interracial marriage was still illegal in 17 US states. Throughout his career, Sidney earned 2 Golden Globes, a Grammy, and nominations for Emmys and a Tony. In 2009, President Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Queen Elizabeth II also named him a Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Widely regarded as Hollywood's first black film star, Sidney was likened to the Martin Luther King Jr. of the movies, for breaking stereotypes and portraying black characters with dignity in major studio productions. A particularly resonant message during the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Sidney Poitier passed away on January 6, 2022, in Beverly Hills at the age of 94. Sophia Loren and Buster Keaton. The Italian actress we're highlighting was born in Rome and launched her film career after participating in a beauty pageant in 1950. Her first leading role came in Aida in 1953, but her breakthrough performance arrived a year later in 1954's The Gold of Naples. She achieved international stardom after signing with Paramount, starring in numerous films that garnered her global acclaim. Her most iconic role, and the one that won her an Oscar, came in 1960 when she starred in the harrowing war drama Two Women. In 1962, she became the first actor to win an Academy Award for a performance in a foreign language film. A few years later, she earned another Oscar nomination for her work in Marriage Italian Style. In 1991, she was honored with an honorary Academy Award for a career rich with memorable performances that has added permanent luster to our art form. And indeed, she continues to be celebrated as one of cinema's most luminous stars. Now back in Los Angeles, we head to Forest Lawn in the Hollywood Hills. In the Court of Valor section rests the great stone face, silent film legend Buster Keaton. Buster's career began in vaudeville at a very young age, performing with his family's act, The Three Keatons. His knack for physical comedy and ability to take dramatic falls earned him the nickname Buster. His stunts, combined with his deadpan expression, became his signature and cemented his status as one of the greatest comedic talents of the silent era. It's almost impossible to fully capture the impact Buster Keaton had on early Hollywood. Alongside contemporaries like Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd, he's widely regarded as one of the greatest comic filmmakers of the silent era. Known for his daring stunts and ingenious visual gags, Buster didn't rely on special effects, but instead performed his own practical and often dangerous stunts. Buster's creativity extended beyond acting, as he also wrote and directed many of his films. Among his most famous works are Steamboat Bill Jr., The Cameraman, Our Hospitality, and the 1926 masterpiece The General, often ranked as one of the greatest comedies of all time. However, as the film industry transitioned into the sound era, Buster's career faltered when studio executives restricted his creative freedom. Despite this, he continued acting well into the 1960s, appearing in projects like Sunset Boulevard and The Twilight Zone. In 1959, Buster was awarded an honorary Oscar for his unique talents, which brought immortal comedies to the screen. He passed away from lung cancer at the age of 70, but his legacy as a pioneer of physical comedy and innovative filmmaking lives on. Loren Bacall and the Marx Brothers. We return to the Gardens of Memory at Forest Lawn, Glendale, where, according to Find a Grave, Loren Bacall, the sultry, smoky-voiced star of the silver screen, is said to be inurned in the columbarium of eternal light alongside her husband, Humphrey Bogart. However, there is no definitive proof that this is the case. Her name does not appear on the niche, and in an interview with Dick Cavett, Bacall herself expressed that she had no desire to be inurned here with Bogey after her passing. Sites like Find a Grave are user-edited, which makes them susceptible to errors, and it's possible that many simply want to believe Loren is here. So, while we remember her here alongside Bogart in spirit, we do so with the understanding that her remains are likely elsewhere. Loren Bacall debuted in 1944's To Have and Have Not, starring alongside her future husband, Humphrey Bogart. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and the two married a year later. They co-starred in several classic films, especially in the noir genre, including Dark Passage, Key Largo, and The Big Sleep. Loren also showcased her comedic talent in romantic films such as How to Marry a Millionaire, and in her later years received an Oscar nomination and a Golden Globe for her role in 1996's The Mirror Has Two Faces. Her final performance was providing her iconic voice for an episode of Family Guy. Following Bogart's death in 1957, Loren reportedly placed a whistle with his urn inscribed with the words, "If you want anything, just whistle," referencing the famous scene from their first film together. "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow." Loren Bacall passed away on August 12, 2014 in Manhattan after suffering a stroke. She was 89. If she is not here physically, she remains in this space symbolically, alongside the love of her life. Now we travel to Eden Memorial Park in Mission Hills to visit the next entry on our list. A team of legendary performers, the Marx Brothers, Groucho, Harpo, and Chico. This group of comedic geniuses is the only ensemble featured in the top 50, though other comedy teams like Laurel and Hardy and the Three Stooges were also nominated. The Marx Brothers began performing together on the vaudeville circuit in New York in the early 20th century. Initially focusing on musical performances, they developed their signature comedic style, with each brother adopting a distinct stage persona. Groucho, known for his razor-sharp wit, grease-paint mustache, glasses and cigar, delivered lines like, "Oh, Your Excellency. You're not so bad yourself. One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I don't know." Harpo, the silent mime with a curly wig, frequently employed props and physical humor, and earned his nickname for his talent as a harpist. Chico, the faux Italian con artist, charmed audiences with his piano skills and quick-talking schemes. Two additional brothers, Gummo and Zeppo, participated in their early work, but later stepped back from performing to focus on business, leaving Groucho, Harpo, and Chico as the core trio. By the 1920s, they were among America's most popular theatrical acts, leading to a successful transition to film. Together, they created over a dozen movies, including Duck Soup and A Night at the Opera, both of which remain some of the greatest comedies ever made. Later in life, Groucho became a prominent figure on radio and television, notably hosting You Bet Your Life. He passed away at 86 from pneumonia. But I must be going. Chico, the eldest, managed the group during their early days and continued performing in nightclubs and casinos after their film career slowed. Known for combining comedy with his piano playing, Chico died at 74 from arteriosclerosis and is entombed in the Freedom Mausoleum at Forest Lawn, Glendale. Harpo, who specialized in visual and physical comedy, left a lasting legacy through his pantomime work. A brilliant harpist, he made many memorable television appearances, including a recreation of the famous duck soup mirror scene with Lucille Ball. Harper was cremated at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, with some of his ashes allegedly scattered at the sand trap on the 7th hole of the Rancho Mirage golf course. He passed away on September 28, 1964, at the age of 75 following heart surgery. Comment RIP to pay your respects to the legendary Marx Brothers and other beloved actors, Rita Hayworth and Bert Lancaster. We begin in Culver City, California at Holy Cross Cemetery, where many Hollywood legends rest. In this grotto area lies one of the most glamorous screen goddesses of the 1940s, Rita Hayworth. Born Margarita Cancino, she started her career as a dancer before becoming one of Hollywood's most iconic actresses of the era. By the 1940s, Rita had risen to fame as a symbol of glamour and became a favorite pin-up girl for servicemen during World War II. Two of her most notable roles came in classic noir films, with her performance in the 1946 film Gilda cementing her as a cultural icon. She also dazzled in the Technicolor musical Covergirl. In 1949, Rita became Hollywood's first real-life princess when she married Prince Ali Khan. Later in life, she bravely battled Alzheimer's disease, becoming one of the first public figures associated with raising awareness about the illness. Rita passed away at the age of 68 due to complications from the disease. From Culver City, we move to Westwood Village Memorial Park, where we find a modest cremation marker for Bert Lancaster, the actor ranked at number 19. Before Hollywood, Bert's career began as a circus acrobat in the 1930s, performing alongside his partner, Nick Cravat. The duo would later reunite on screen in films like The Crimson Pirate. However, an injury in the late 1930s forced Bert to abandon his acrobatic career, leading him to pursue acting after serving in World War II. His breakthrough role came in the 1946 noir The Killers, opposite Ava Gardner. Bert Lancaster went on to deliver a series of legendary performances, including his portrayal of First Sergeant Warden in the 1953 war drama From Here to Eternity, a role that earned him one of his 4 Oscar nominations. His other nominations came for Atlantic City, Birdman of Alcatraz, and Elmer Gantry, the latter earning him the Academy Award for Best Actor. Elmer Gantry is coming. Elmer Gantry is an all-American boy. He's interested in money, sex, and religion. Bert's final film role was as Dr. Moonlight Graham in Field of Dreams. He passed away at the age of 80 after suffering a heart attack. Shirley Temple and James Dean. Next we head north to Palo Alto, California and Alta Mesa Memorial Park, where we honor one of the most enduring icons of cinema, Shirley Temple. Often compared to figures like Charlie Chaplin's Little Tramp or Marilyn Monroe's Blonde Bombshell, Shirley Temple is remembered as the quintessential child star. In the 1930s, she was not only the most beloved child actress in the world, but also Hollywood's top box office draw. Her cheerful screen presence provided hope and joy to a nation struggling through the Great Depression. At just 6 years old, she received a special Juvenile Academy Award, recognizing her as an extraordinary young performer. Among her beloved films from this era are Bright Eyes, Heidi, and Curly Top. Shirley is also fondly remembered for her charming dance duets with Bill Bojangles Robinson in films like The Little Colonel. As she grew older, Shirley transitioned to young adult roles, appearing in films such as The Bachelor and The Bobby Soxer with Cary Grant. By the age of 22, Shirley retired from acting, but made a brief return in 1958 with her television series Shirley Temple's Storybook, a fairy tale anthology. Later in life, Shirley Temple transitioned to a successful career in diplomacy, serving as a U.S. delegate to the United Nations and as an ambassador to both Ghana and Czechoslovakia. She passed away at the age of 85 from COPD, leaving behind a legacy of joy, talent, and public service. Follow the signs here to find the resting place of James Dean, a timeless icon whose image remains synonymous with youthful rebellion and disillusionment. Best remembered for his 1955 film, Rebel Without a Cause, Dean's portrayal of a troubled teenager struck a chord with audiences, solidifying his place as a cultural symbol. Though his career was tragically brief, he was posthumously nominated for 2 Academy Awards, one for his role in East of Eden and the other for Giant. The tragic early death of a star often elevates their legacy, freezing them in time at their peak. They are preserved in the collective memory as untarnished, forever shining at their brightest. James Dean is one such star, his life and career cut short before his talents could fully flourish, leaving behind an enduring, vivid impression. Dean was an avid fan of fast cars and racing. In September 1955, while driving his Porsche 550 Spider north to a racing event, he collided with a Ford that turned left into his lane along State Road 46. The impact sent his car spinning off the road near what is now called James Dean Memorial Junction. The injuries he sustained were fatal, and he passed away at the age of just 24. Dean became the first actor in history to receive a posthumous Academy Award nomination for acting, and to this day, he remains the only actor to have earned 2 such nominations. Lillian Gish and Kirk Douglas. Heading east, we arrive in Manhattan, New York at St. Bartholomew's Episcopal Church. Within the lower level of the church lies a modest columbarium, and here we find the niche of Lillian Gish, often regarded by film historians as the greatest actress of the silent era. Known as the First Lady of Cinema, Lillian was a trailblazer in early Hollywood, portraying characters with delicate exteriors yet immense inner resilience. She starred in some of the silent era's most iconic films, including Birth of a Nation, Way Down East, and Intolerance, all directed by D.W. Griffith. In 1920, Lillian broke new ground as one of the first women to direct a feature film remodeling her husband, which featured her sister, Dorothy Gish. By the 1920s, she was one of the most influential women in Hollywood. The advent of sound did not diminish her career. Lillian continued to deliver compelling performances, such as her roles in The Night of the Hunter and Duel in the Sun, the latter earning her an Oscar nomination in 1947. In 1971, she received an honorary Academy Award for superlative artistry and for distinguished contribution to the progress of motion pictures. Lillian passed away just months shy of her 100th birthday, leaving behind a century of cinematic contributions. Now we return to Los Angeles and Westwood Village Memorial Park, a small yet star-studded cemetery we'll revisit often on this list. Among neighbors like Farrah Fawcett and Karl Malden lies one of Hollywood's most chiseled leading men, Kirk Douglas, born Isur Danielovich. Kirk became synonymous with the square-jawed, tough protagonists of the 1950s and 60s, ultimately becoming a true Hollywood legend. His most iconic role was in the 1960 epic Spartacus, where he not only starred in the title role, but also served as a producer. Kirk famously helped end the Hollywood blacklist by hiring Dalton Trumbo to write the film's screenplay, a landmark moment in Hollywood history. Over his career, Kirk earned 3 Oscar nominations for his performances in Champion, The Bad and the Beautiful, and Lust for Life, in which he portrayed artist Vincent van Gogh. Beyond his cinematic achievements, he was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1981 for his humanitarian efforts and contributions to goodwill. Kirk Douglas passed away in 2020 at the remarkable age of 103, one of the final surviving stars of Hollywood's golden age. He now rests here alongside his wife and son, Eric, leaving behind a lasting legacy not only as an actor but as a symbol of resilience and determination in the film industry. He was also the father of Oscar-winning actor Michael Douglas. Vivian Lee and Orson Welles. We begin in Stratford-upon-Avon, England, a town forever associated with Shakespeare and the theatre. In the Royal Shakespeare Company's Swan Gardens, a stone monument honours a lass unparalleled, Vivian Lee. Born in British India, Vivian began acting in theatre as a young girl and transitioned to film by the mid-1930s. In 1939, she secured Hollywood's most sought-after role, Scarlett O'Hara, in Gone with the Wind. Her unforgettable portrayal earned her an Academy Award. Vivian would later win a second Oscar for her performance as Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. Beyond her film career, she was an accomplished stage actress portraying iconic Shakespearean roles such as Ophelia, Juliet, and Lady Macbeth. In 1940, she married Laurence Olivier, forming one of the most famous acting power couples of their time. However, her life was marked by struggles with chronic tuberculosis, a condition that eventually took her life in 1967 at the age of 53. When news of her passing broke, the theatres of central London dimmed their lights for an hour in her honour. Vivian was cremated at Golders Green, and her ashes were scattered on the lake at her Tickeridge Mill home. This stone memorial was later placed here in Stratford to honour her contributions to cinema and theatre. Turning southward, we make our only visit of the day to Ronda, Spain, an ancient and picturesque cliffside town. Here, on a Spanish estate, rests another cinematic giant, Orson Welles. His ashes are fittingly placed in an old well on the grounds, a symbolic resting place for one of cinema's greatest storytellers. Orson Welles made his mark across multiple mediums, from radio to stage to film. In 1938, his radio adaptation of War of the Worlds was so realistic that it caused widespread panic, with many Americans believing they were experiencing a real Martian invasion. Welles transitioned to film with his groundbreaking debut, Citizen Kane, 1941, a movie he co-wrote, directed, produced, and starred in. Often regarded as the greatest film ever made, it earned him 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Screenplay, the latter of which he won, sharing the award with Herman Mankiewicz. Rosebud. Over his career, Welles directed 12 other films, including The Magnificent Ambersons, The Lady from Shanghai, and Touch of Evil, often acting in them as well. He also appeared in films directed by others, including the classic The Third Man. In Switzerland, they had brotherly love. They had 500 years of democracy and peace. And what did that produce? The Cuckoo Clock. So long, Holly. His final film, The Other Side of the Wind, spent nearly 5 decades in development and was finally released in 2018 by Netflix, more than 30 years after his death. Orson Welles, widely regarded as one of the greatest filmmakers in Hollywood history, was the only figure on this list equally renowned as a director and actor. He passed away in October 1985 at the age of 70 following a heart attack. Welles had developed a deep affection for Spain while filming there, and his ashes were placed in the well on the estate of his friend, the famous bullfighter Antonio Ordonez. Known now as Wells's Well, it serves as a fitting memorial to a man whose influence on cinema is immeasurable. 20 meanest Hollywood stars who will never change.
So what did I do wrong?
Getting arrested for disorder. Somebody's
Okay, a guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Hollywood isn't all glitz and glam. Some stars are hiding a not-so-shiny reputation. From fiery on-set feuds to shocking public scandals, these celebrities have been called out for their behavior again and again. But what's even more surprising? They just won't change. What drives these big names to keep stirring controversy? And how have their actions left lasting marks on their careers? Stay tuned as we uncover the 20 meanest Hollywood stars who've built a reputation for being downright impossible, and why their bad behavior might never stop. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, has also faced scrutiny for his reputedly difficult personality off the court. Known for his unparalleled competitiveness, Jordan's relentless drive for excellence has often translated into strained relationships with teammates, staff, and collaborators. His tenure with the Chicago Bulls, while legendary for its 6 NBA championships, was marred by reports of harsh treatment toward teammates. Former Bull Horace Grant once described Jordan as a bully, alleging that he frequently berated players who did not meet his standards. In the ESPN documentary The Last Dance, Jordan himself acknowledged his aggressive behavior, saying, "My mentality was to win at all costs. If that meant pushing people to levels they didn't want to go, it was worth it." This mindset reportedly extended beyond his playing days. As the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, Jordan has been accused of fostering a toxic work environment. Multiple reports suggest he is an intimidating presence, making it difficult for staff to challenge his decisions. Media representatives have also noted Jordan's dismissive attitude. During press events, he has been known to curtly shut down questions or avoid interactions altogether, fueling his reputation as unapproachable. Despite his immense success, some critics argue that his behavior has alienated colleagues and contributed to the perception of him as a domineering figure. While Jordan remains an iconic athlete, his history of contentious interactions highlights the complexities of his legacy. Katherine Hegel. Katherine Hegel, once a beloved star of Grey's Anatomy and hit romantic comedies like 27 Dresses, has faced a steep career decline largely attributed to her reputation for being difficult to work with. Hegel's troubles began during her time on Grey's Anatomy, where she publicly withdrew her name from Emmy consideration in 2008. In a now infamous statement, she claimed the material she was given that season didn't warrant recognition, which many viewed as a direct criticism of the show's writers and creators. This act reportedly strained her relationship with Grey's Anatomy showrunner Shonda Rhimes. On set, Hegel has been described as demanding and challenging by several collaborators. A former co-star on Knocked Up noted that she criticized the film in a Vanity Fair interview, calling it sexist, which alienated her from some colleagues in Hollywood. A producer who worked with Hegel once described her as having a sense of entitlement that created tension during productions. Hegel's interactions with media and industry professionals have also contributed to her reputation. She is known for making unfiltered comments during interviews, often at the expense of her own projects or collaborators. In 2014, Shonda Rhimes referenced Hegel indirectly, stating in an interview that she avoids hiring nasty people after her experiences with certain actors. Though Hegel has publicly apologized for past actions and expressed regret over her reputation, critics argue that her career struggles reflect the long-term impact of burning professional bridges. Taylor Swift, a global music icon known for her chart-topping hits like Shake It Off and All Too Well, has faced allegations of difficult behavior despite her widespread popularity. While she has cultivated an image of authenticity and relatability, some industry insiders and former collaborators have raised concerns about her professional relationships and control over narratives. Swift has had high-profile feuds with numerous celebrities including Kanye West, Katy Perry, and Scooter Braun. Her dispute with Braun over the ownership of her master recordings became a public spectacle, with Swift accusing him of bullying and manipulative behavior. While many fans supported her, critics argued that her public airing of grievances painted her as combative. Braun himself said in an interview, "I don't like seeing people's reputations torn apart, and I think we live in a time of toxic division." In the music industry, Swift is known for her meticulous control over her work and image. Former collaborators have described her as exacting, with one anonymous producer stating that working with Swift involves an all-or-nothing loyalty. Media representatives have occasionally found her challenging to interview due to her reluctance to address certain topics and her tendency to steer conversations. While Swift's reputation as a savvy businesswoman and artist is undeniable, her approach has sometimes been labeled as overly strategic and calculated. However, her loyal fan base and ongoing success suggest that these critiques have done little to hinder her career. Drake Bell, best known for his role on Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh, has faced a series of controversies and allegations that have overshadowed his early success. Once a beloved figure in family entertainment, Bell's personal and professional behavior has raised questions about his conduct and accountability. In recent years, Bell's reputation took a severe hit after legal troubles came to light. In 2021, he was charged with attempted child endangerment and disseminating material harmful to juveniles. He pled guilty and was sentenced to probation and community service. This incident followed accusations from a former partner who claimed he was verbally and physically abusive during their relationship. Allegations Bell denied, but which added to his tarnished public image. On professional sets, Bell has been described by some collaborators as unpredictable. While no major incidents have been widely publicized from his acting career, his declining opportunities suggest a reputation that may have hindered his ability to secure roles. An industry insider noted anonymously, "When an actor's personal life becomes a distraction, it's hard to justify hiring them." Bell's interactions with fans and the media have also been scrutinized. Critics argue his online presence often reflects impulsivity, with cryptic or dismissive posts that exacerbate public backlash. Despite apologizing for some past actions, his efforts to rehabilitate his image have been met with skepticism. Once a rising star, Bell's behavior has not only impacted his career trajectory, but also diminished the goodwill he built during his early success. If you're in it for the whole ride, hit 1 in the comments. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, a reality TV mogul, entrepreneur, and social media influencer, is one of the most polarizing figures in Hollywood. Rising to fame through keeping up with the Kardashians, her public persona has been both celebrated and criticized. While Kardashian has built an empire through fashion, beauty, and advocacy work, allegations of difficult behavior and insensitivity have surfaced throughout her career. Several incidents highlight the controversies surrounding her. On set, some crew members from her reality shows have claimed that Kardashian can be demanding and unaccommodating, allegedly enforcing rigid standards for her team. Critics have also noted her reputation for prioritizing her image above all else, which can create tension in professional collaborations. An insider once commented, "Kim's world revolves around perfection, and that level of control can make it challenging to work with her." Kardashian's interactions with the media and public have also drawn scrutiny. She has been accused of cultural appropriation on multiple occasions, such as her 2019 launch of shapewear brand Kimono, which prompted widespread backlash for insensitivity. Although she later rebranded the line to Skims, critics viewed the initial decision as tone-deaf. Kardashian addressed the issue, saying, "My intention was never to disrespect any culture," but the controversy lingered. While her relentless ambition and savvy marketing have cemented her as a cultural icon, these same traits contribute to perceptions of self-centeredness and detachment. Despite her charitable efforts and legal advocacy, Kardashian remains a lightning rod for debate about celebrity privilege and accountability. Rachael Ray. Rachael Ray, a celebrity chef and television personality known for her quick and accessible recipes, has built a massive brand through shows like 30-Minute Meals and her namesake talk show. However, behind her cheerful on-screen persona, Ray has faced accusations of difficult behavior from some colleagues and staff members. Reports from former employees suggest that Ray can be demanding and dismissive, with claims of tense working conditions on her shows. One former staffer alleged, "She expects everything to run perfectly but doesn't always communicate her expectations clearly, which can lead to unnecessary stress." Additionally, some insiders claim that Ray's perfectionism occasionally translates to a lack of patience with production teams, creating friction behind the scenes. Ray's interactions with fans and media have also drawn criticism at times. There have been instances where her responses to interviewers were described as curt or evasive, particularly when pressed about controversies. For example, her endorsement of certain food products has sparked backlash from nutrition advocates, with critics accusing her of promoting unhealthy choices, despite her platform's emphasis on simple, home-cooked meals. Ray has defended herself, stating, "I'm not a nutritionist, I'm a cook. My job is to help people enjoy food, not dictate their diets." While Ray's reputation for being forthright and driven has earned her respect in the culinary world, these same traits have led some to view her as challenging. Despite this, her enduring success suggests that her talent and relatability outweigh the controversies surrounding her. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts, often referred to as America's sweetheart for her roles in iconic films like Pretty Woman and Erin Brockovich, has not always lived up to her charming on-screen persona behind the scenes. Despite her immense talent and enduring success, Roberts has faced allegations of being difficult to work with throughout her career. Reports from colleagues and crew members suggest that Roberts can be temperamental on set. During the production of Hook, 1991, she was nicknamed Tinker Hell by some crew members due to her alleged mood swings and demanding behavior. Director Steven Spielberg later addressed the rumors, diplomatically saying, "Julia was going through a tough time during that shoot." While he refrained from criticizing her directly, the nickname stuck as a symbol of her reported unpredictability. Roberts' interactions with other actors have also sparked controversy. Tensions between Roberts and Nick Nolte during the filming of I Love Trouble, 1994, were so high that the two reportedly refused to film scenes together whenever possible. Roberts later described Nolte as completely disgusting in an interview, to which Nolte responded in kind, highlighting the animosity between them. Despite these reports, Roberts has also been praised for her professionalism in many projects. Some collaborators describe her as focused and driven, though occasionally guarded. When asked about her reputation, Roberts stated, "I'm not here to win a popularity contest, I care about the work." While her charm has made her a Hollywood legend, her alleged off-screen difficulties reveal a more complex personality behind the stardom. James Corden. James Corden, a British actor and comedian best known as the host of The Late Late Show with James Corden, has faced persistent allegations of difficult behavior despite his affable on-screen persona. While his talent and charisma have garnered him widespread success, reports from colleagues, staff, and others in the entertainment industry suggest a pattern of problematic conduct. Several incidents highlight this reputation. Former staff members on The Late Late Show have accused Corden of fostering a tense work environment, with claims that he can be dismissive and demanding. A source from the show alleged James has a short temper, and when things don't go his way, it's the staff who bear the brunt of it. Corden's interactions with restaurant staff have also come under scrutiny. In 2022, restaurateur Keith McNally publicly banned Corden from his New York City establishment, alleging that Corden was the most abusive customer his staff had ever encountered. Although Corden later apologized, McNally's accusations fueled long-standing whispers about Corden's off-screen demeanor. Fellow celebrities have also hinted at tensions. Comedian Eric Andre once criticized Corden, calling him rude in an interview, while others have described him as egotistical in private settings. Corden, however, has brushed off these claims, stating, "I always try to bring joy and laughter, and I'm sorry if that hasn't always come across." While Corden remains a popular figure in entertainment, these controversies have raised questions about the disconnect between his public image and private behavior. Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock, a celebrated actress known for her roles in Miss Congeniality and her Oscar-winning performance in The Blind Side, has maintained a reputation for professionalism and charm throughout her career. However, like many Hollywood stars, she has not been immune to criticism regarding her behavior in certain circumstances. On set, Bullock is often described as meticulous and deeply involved in her work, which some collaborators interpret as demanding. A former crew member on one of her films remarked anonymously, "Sandra is incredibly focused, which can sometimes make her seem unapproachable. She expects a high level of commitment from everyone." While these traits have earned her respect, they occasionally spark tensions with those unprepared for her work ethic. Bullock's interactions with the media and fans have occasionally drawn mixed reactions. Though she is generally regarded as personable in interviews, there have been moments where her responses appeared curt or guarded, particularly when discussing personal matters. This reluctance to engage deeply with the press has been interpreted by some as aloofness, though Bullock has stated, "I value my privacy because it's what keeps me grounded." Despite these criticisms, Bullock's reputation remains overwhelmingly positive. Many co-stars and directors have praised her collaborative spirit and dedication to her craft. Actress Betty White once said of Bullock, "She's one of the kindest people I've ever worked with." While occasional complaints arise, Bullock's career longevity and glowing reviews from peers reflect a star who balances high standards with genuine care for her work. Do you think Sandra Bullock's high expectations and guarded nature are justified, given her position and desire for privacy? Comment with yes or no to weigh in. Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, known for roles in The Perks of Being a Wallflower and The Flash, has faced numerous controversies impacting their career and public image. Born in Wyckoff, New Jersey in 1992, Miller began their career with opera and later transitioned to film. Miller's behavioral issues escalated publicly in 2020. One incident involved a video appearing to show Miller choking a woman outside a bar in Iceland. Although no charges were filed, the incident raised concerns about their conduct. In 2022, Miller faced multiple arrests in Hawaii. One involved disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar, followed shortly by a second-degree assault charge for allegedly throwing a chair that injured a woman. Later that year, they were accused of felony burglary in Vermont for allegedly stealing alcohol from a residence. These incidents led to charges and legal proceedings. Miller's behavior extended beyond legal issues, including allegations of housing and grooming minors. These accusations further complicated their public image and raised serious questions about their conduct. The repeated incidents generated negative press and significantly damaged their reputation within the industry. While Miller has publicly apologized and sought treatment for complex mental health issues, the impact of their behavior remains substantial. The future of their involvement in major film projects like The Flash was uncertain at the time of these events, demonstrating the serious professional repercussions of their actions. The numerous accounts of erratic behavior paint a picture of an individual grappling with significant personal challenges while navigating a high-profile career. Whether Miller can successfully rehabilitate their image and career remains to be seen. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez, a global superstar renowned for her roles in films like Selena and chart-topping hits such as On the Floor, has faced criticism for being challenging to work with, despite her immense talent and influence. While Lopez's work ethic and ambition have propelled her to the pinnacle of Hollywood and music, some collaborators and industry insiders have pointed out moments of diva-like behavior that tarnish her professional image. Reports of Lopez's demanding nature have circulated for years. On film sets, she is known for having specific and rigorous requirements. A former production staff member stated, "Jennifer has high expectations, and while that's admirable, it can sometimes create a stressful environment for the team." These reports are echoed in stories about her concert tours, where crew members have described her as particular about details and quick to voice displeasure when things don't meet her standards. Lopez's interactions with the media and fans have also drawn scrutiny. She has been accused of being unapproachable at times, with rumors of strict no eye contact rules for those working around her. However, Lopez has dismissed these claims as exaggerated, stating, "I work hard and I expect the same from those around me. That doesn't make me a bad person." Despite these controversies, many colleagues have praised her for her dedication and passion. Lopez's undeniable talent and iconic status in the entertainment industry continue to outweigh criticisms, though her exacting standards remain a topic of debate. Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri, the flamboyant host of diners, drive-ins and dives, is known for his bold personality and love of comfort food. While his enthusiastic on-screen demeanor has won him legions of fans, some critics and colleagues have described him as difficult to work with behind the scenes. Reports from production teams suggest that Fieri's larger-than-life persona can sometimes translate to unprofessional behavior. A former producer on one of his shows claimed that Fieri could be unpredictable, with moments of impatience and resistance to direction. He's passionate about his work, but that passion can sometimes come off as arrogance, the producer remarked. Additionally, there have been whispers about Fieri clashing with network executives over creative decisions, allegedly demanding extensive control over his projects. Fieri's public interactions have also drawn criticism. He has faced backlash for comments perceived as insensitive, as well as accusations of perpetuating negative stereotypes in his portrayal of certain cuisines. Despite these issues, Fieri has consistently defended his approach, stating, "I'm here to celebrate food and the people who make it, not to criticize." On the other hand, Fieri is widely praised for his philanthropic efforts, including raising millions for restaurant workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many colleagues describe him as generous and supportive, noting that his on-set behavior often reflects his passion for food and people rather than malice. Kanye West. Kanye West, a musical genius and cultural icon, is equally known for his groundbreaking albums like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Graduation, as he is for his controversial behavior. While his talent is undisputed, West's career has been marred by incidents that paint him as a challenging figure in both his personal and professional life. West's erratic behavior often dominates headlines. His infamous interruption of Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards remains one of pop culture's most controversial moments. Swift later described the incident as humiliating, while West defended his actions, stating, "I fight for artists. That's who I am." This pattern of public outbursts continued with contentious interviews and social media rants where he has targeted collaborators, ex-partners, and even major corporations. Professionally, West's perfectionism has been both a strength and a source of conflict. Several producers and collaborators have reported high-pressure working conditions, with West often demanding last-minute changes or completely reworking projects. A former engineer alleged that West's unpredictability made it impossible to keep up with his vision. More recently, West has drawn severe criticism for making inflammatory statements, which led to severed business relationships with major brands like Adidas. Despite multiple controversies, he remains unapologetic, often framing his actions as part of his artistic process. While West's brilliance as a musician and designer is undeniable, his history of erratic and confrontational behavior has alienated many, leaving a complicated legacy. Zoe Deschanel. Zoe Deschanel, celebrated for her roles in New Girl and 500 Days of Summer, is widely admired for her quirky charm and distinctive presence. However, behind her whimsical on-screen persona, some collaborators and industry insiders have hinted at challenges in working with the actress and musician. Deschanel's reputation on set is mixed, with reports suggesting she can be highly particular about her work. While this meticulousness often translates to polished performances, it has occasionally been perceived as inflexibility. A former production crew member from New Girl noted, "Zoe has a very specific vision of how things should go, which sometimes makes collaboration difficult." This determination to maintain control over her projects has been described as both a strength and a source of tension. In interviews, Deschanel has faced criticism for projecting an overly curated, adorkable image, which some argue doesn't always align with her real-life demeanor. While fans appreciate her authenticity, industry insiders have occasionally described her as reserved or dismissive when discussing topics she finds uncomfortable or irrelevant. She's a perfectionist, and that can come off as guarded, an unnamed colleague shared. Despite these critiques, Deschanel has received praise for her dedication and professionalism. Co-stars often commend her work ethic and ability to create a positive environment on set. Actor Max Greenfield, who worked closely with her on New Girl, called her a true leader and team player. While she may be demanding at times, Deschanel's talent and commitment have cemented her as a respected figure in Hollywood. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, an action movie icon known for his roles in Die Hard, The Sixth Sense and Pulp Fiction, has had a storied Hollywood career. While celebrated for his on-screen charisma and versatility, Willis has also faced allegations of being difficult to work with, particularly in recent years. Reports from film sets suggest that Willis's behavior can sometimes create tension. Kevin Smith, who directed Willis in Cop Out 2010, publicly described the experience as challenging, stating that working with Willis was soul-crushing. Smith alleged that Willis displayed a lack of enthusiasm for the project and refused to engage with promotional efforts, which strained their professional relationship. Willis's interactions with production crews have also been criticized. Several insiders claim that he can be dismissive and uncooperative, occasionally clashing with directors over creative decisions. A former crew member remarked, "Bruce doesn't suffer fools and he can be very direct, which not everyone takes well." In recent years, concerns about Willis's health and focus have emerged, with some reports suggesting that his behavior on set has been impacted by cognitive struggles. These claims were addressed in 2022 when his family revealed that he had been diagnosed with aphasia, a condition affecting communication. The announcement shed light on some of the difficulties he faced during his later projects and prompted an outpouring of support. On a scale of 0 to 5, how sympathetic are you to Bruce Willis's struggles with aphasia and its impact on his behavior? Share your thoughts in the comments. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr., once celebrated for his Oscar-winning performance in Jerry Maguire, has faced significant challenges to his reputation over the years due to allegations of misconduct and erratic behavior. While his talent earned him a prominent place in Hollywood, a series of incidents have overshadowed his career. Gooding's professional conduct has been criticized by some industry insiders. Reports suggest he can be difficult to work with allegations of unprofessional behavior on set. A former crew member on one of his films claimed, "Cuba's unpredictability made it hard to maintain a steady working environment." Additionally, some co-stars have hinted at tensions due to his tendency to dominate scenes or resist direction. More concerning are the numerous accusations of inappropriate behavior in public and private settings. Over 20 women have accused Gooding of sexual misconduct, ranging from unwanted advances to groping. These allegations culminated in his 2022 guilty plea to forcibly touching a woman at a New York nightclub. Though he avoided jail time, the case significantly tarnished his public image. Gooding addressed the court, stating, "I apologize for ever making anyone feel disrespected." Despite his attempts to revive his career, including roles in American Crime Story and smaller independent films, these controversies have largely defined Gooding's public narrative in recent years. While his early performances remain iconic, his off-screen actions have sparked ongoing discussions about accountability and redemption in Hollywood, leaving his legacy deeply complicated. Mariah Carey, the iconic singer-songwriter known for her 5-octave vocal range and hits like Hero and All I Want for Christmas Is You, has often been labeled a diva, both as a compliment to her talent and as a critique of her behavior. While her musical genius and influence in the industry are undeniable, stories of her demanding nature and difficult conduct have surfaced throughout her career. Carey's high standards have frequently been interpreted as diva-like behavior. On multiple occasions, crew members and collaborators have described her as exacting and insistent on maintaining full creative control. During the filming of Glitter 2001, production delays were reportedly attributed to Carey's unpredictable schedule. A former colleague remarked, "Mariah knows what she wants, but that sometimes clashes with what a production needs to run smoothly." Her personal interactions with staff have also raised eyebrows. In 2017, her former manager filed a lawsuit accusing Carey of emotional abuse and breach of contract, alleging that she created a toxic work environment. Though Carey denied the claims, the case highlighted persistent rumors about her challenging demeanor. Despite these reports, Carey has also been praised for her warmth and generosity with fans. In interviews, she has addressed her diva label with humor, saying, "I'm high maintenance because I deserve to be." This self-awareness has endeared her to many, even as others find her behavior difficult. Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, an accomplished actor known for his roles in Hustle and Flow and Iron Man, has faced significant criticism for his off-screen behavior and tumultuous professional relationships. Despite his undeniable talent, controversies surrounding Howard have frequently overshadowed his career. Howard's alleged difficult behavior has been well documented in Hollywood. His departure from the Marvel Cinematic Universe after playing James Rhodey Rhodes in Iron Man 2008 reportedly stemmed from disputes over salary negotiations. Howard claimed that the studio drastically reduced his pay for the sequel, leading to his exit. However, insiders suggested that his demanding nature and strained relationships with co-stars and producers contributed to the decision. "It's just business," Howard later remarked, though the situation tarnished his reputation. Howard's personal life has also drawn scrutiny. He has faced allegations of domestic violence from multiple former partners, some of which resulted in legal action. These accusations have sparked significant backlash and raised questions about his conduct outside of work. Howard has denied many of these claims, but they remain a contentious part of his public image. On set, Howard's perfectionism and strong opinions about his craft have sometimes led to clashes with directors and co-stars. While some admire his passion, others find his approach difficult to manage. "Terrence is intense, and that can be challenging," a former collaborator noted. Despite the controversies, Howard remains a respected actor, with performances that showcase his depth and versatility. Yet his career continues to be marred by the complex dynamics of his professional and personal life. Jesse James. Jesse James, a television personality best known for Monster Garage and his custom motorcycle and car-building empire, has garnered as much attention for his personal controversies as for his on-screen accomplishments. His reputation has been marred by allegations of infidelity, unprofessional behavior, and public scandals. James's most infamous controversy came in 2010 during his marriage to actress Sandra Bullock. After Bullock's Academy Award win, reports of James's multiple infidelities surfaced, leading to their high-profile divorce. The scandal not only tarnished his personal reputation, but also led to widespread public backlash. James admitted to his behavior in a televised interview, stating, "I took a perfectly good life and threw it away." Professionally, James has been accused of being difficult to work with. Several employees from his West Coast chopper shop have described him as demanding and temperamental, with a low tolerance for mistakes. His reality show productions have also reportedly faced challenges due to his controlling nature and volatile temperament. A former producer commented, "Jesse's passion for his work is undeniable, but it often comes at the expense of those around him." James has also faced criticism for controversial public statements and associations, including a photo depicting him in Nazi regalia, which he dismissed as a joke. These actions have further fueled his image as a polarizing figure. While James remains a talented craftsman and reality TV personality, his career and public image have been deeply impacted by his personal and professional controversies, leaving a legacy that is as complicated as it is contentious. And there you have it, the final resting places of AFI's 20 greatest screen legends. Their lives were larger than life, their stories unforgettable. From tragic endings to groundbreaking achievements, these stars left behind a legacy that continues to inspire us today. They remind us that fame is fleeting, but the mark you leave on the world can last forever. Which story moved you the most? Let us know in the comments, we'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Iconic Inside for more incredible journeys through Hollywood history. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. If you enjoyed this, you'll love our previous video, 20 Famous Actors You Will Never See Again. It's full of fascinating stories about stars whose legacies shaped Hollywood in ways you might not expect. Click on the end screen to watch now, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep celebrating the legends who made history on and off the screen.